Hello and welcome, RCSchim in the hangar, but only for short. We'll unbox the Titan Army P32A2S2 240Hz gaming monitor. It's an IPS display and it supposedly is very fast. I have a quite old but decent Samsung monitor, 34-inch, but the ultra wide, which is okay for editing, not so much for gaming. By the end of the video, I hopefully can tell you if this replaces my high-end Samsung monitor, which is like 7 or 8 years old. My main question is, how much can we benefit from a screen that has more than 60 Hz, in that case 4 times more than 60 Hz? Does it really feel more smooth in shooters, better even for video editing or the overall look and feel of Windows? We will find this out. Nicely packaged. And I have to admit, on the pictures it looks a bit playful. The foot is, I think it's aluminum. It's designed nicely already. An external power supply. Not 100% a fan of this, but I understand on the thinner monitors you don't have an internal power supply. Cables. So to give you a little background, I've been working in IT for 26 years. Studied computers, so I know a thing or two about these things. But I'm also a heavy user. Not so much gaming, but flight sim or racing sims, and for editing. For editing, I use these things a lot. The back side looks cool, and I think it's lit back there. Oh, and the front looks really nice. A really thin bezel. That's one thing that I always look for on screens, but yeah, you see that it's actually going 5 millimeters in, and then the screen really begins, but it's pretty much the same with all screens these days. Boom, screwdriver in the screen. Yeah, really. Damn it. Oh, have I gotten so clumsy? Okay, and I want to get rid of this plastic now. So this is plastic, this is metal. And it can swivel. Yeah, I like how this works. As soon as you have power, you also have this LED looking gigantic here on this table. 32 inches. Can lower it quite a lot. I think it's about 10 centimeters of height travel. Small and thin from the side. The vertical stand feels sturdy, so no complaints here. Get the cables through there. That's the power supply. One thing of the power supply that I'm not the biggest fan of is these 3-pole connectors and not the standard connectors that you have on computers. On the other side we have this barrel plug. In terms of connections, we have 2 HDMI and 2 display ports and an audio port. This screen doesn't have its own speakers. Let's change this screen. That's a Samsung, bringing in a new rig. This is genuinely the first impression when sitting down. Front of it. I cannot go much further back. Okay, that's a sign of it being maybe a tad bit too large. On my 70 centimeters depth desk, I cannot move the screen much further back, so it's quite close to me, to my face, but you get used to this quite fast. So the screen has a resolution of 2560 by 1440. Good for gaming. I don't need 4K to be honest, and it's a relief on the graphics card. And it's currently running in 60 Hz. Oh, and now I have 120, 144 or 240. So let's take a closer look at 60 Hz, which most of the times is the normal. This is what it looks like, and this is 4 times slow motion, so 240 frames filming a 60 Hz screen, and there you see how laggy or how stuttery this actually is. And it depends if you're susceptible to this, but I feel this You also see the mouse cursor jumping. Now increase the frames to 120 Hertz. And this is in real time. It looks way smoother and very pleasant. Also the mouse cursor, like on your phone with high frame rates. And this is in slow-mo, 4x slow-mo, 240 frames. You see it's better. It still looks jumpy, but you have just more frames. Also on the mouse cursor. And I skipped the 144 and jumped to 240 frames, and this is madness. In real time you don't see a lot of difference between 120 and 240, but in slow-mo, now we filmed with 240 frames and having 240 frames, this looks quite smooth. Quick overview where you see it all compared at the same time. On the mouse cursor it's the most obvious in slow motion, 4x slow-mo. So there's this stupid asteroids-like shooter called Nova Drift. I got high scores and played it all the way through, now with the new screen. So whilst I couldn't figure out how to get it to run at more than 60 Hz, just not supported from the game, it still was a good experience as it seems, so I was just lucky. Just to give it a perspective, and this correlates. Until now my high scores were 33,000 and now I'm 126,000. I challenge you to this game. It's called Nova Drift. Let's quickly go through the menu options. In the picture modes you have a certain amount of preset image modes like standard, RPG mode, first person shooter. I didn't see a lot of differences between those modes. They are just brighter and maybe faster. Movie mode, reading mode, and ebook mode is pretty much just a black and white mode. You can start it at its. In picture settings you have the normal stuff like brightness, contrast, dynamic contrast, which I leave to off because then it goes up and down. Low blue light is a nice addition. Dark games I would increase this, but there's game aids in a different aspect ratio, color temp. You have an HDR setting. In picture enhancements we get adaptive sync, shadow balance, night vision mode. This is the thing that can help you in very dark games. Gaming aid, you can see the refresh rate. So this refresh rate counter here doesn't do any good. Oh, and I could totally game this once again. So admittedly this game hertz thing here is, it's unnecessary. It doesn't really show you the, maybe in adaptive sync mode, you can get a crosshair for games that don't have a crosshair, stopwatch, game time, blah blah. Audio settings, it's just an audio bypass. And you can have picture-in-picture input signal. You can fix this or have it on auto. Quick boot so it doesn't display the logo. And system settings like language. And here you can have the hotkeys. Hotkey 1 is my brightness and hotkey 2 is my contrast. You can have there whatever you need the most. Okay, this is a bit ridiculous and I don't know if I keep both screens on my desk. Can keep Samsung for like additional properties in my editing process. But so far I really like the large 32 in 16:9 rather than 21:9 aspect ratio. Here you always have too little of height. And what I didn't know, you can have 60 Hertz here and 120 or 240 Hertz here. So the graphics card can run different Hertz on a multi-monitor setup, which I didn't know, which is a good thing. Okay, that was my review of the Titan Army gaming screen, and it's also good for editing apparently. And I really love, now that I have it, I really love the high frame rate on the screen. I don't want to miss it anymore. The old Samsung is kind of a sidekick now. He's good for displaying additional properties. Are there any secret mails? I don't think so. If you decide to get such a screen, please consider using my Geek Buying affiliate link, so that helps my channel just a bit. I can write, after now 2 weeks of using it, I can recommend this product. It's nice. Of course, I don't have any long time experience. How good will it hold up? Is it decent quality? Yes, in my tests it was okay. Image quality is good. The additional frames are superb. Try to compare the prices to other monitors in this feature range. Maybe you can get away with just getting the 27-inch version of this, because the 32 is really large. I told you, like, the space on your desk might be the limiting factor. It's been a good experience. I hope you enjoyed this video review. Thanks a lot for watching. See you next time. Bye for now.